2,500 years ago, these guys show up in Paracas, Peru. We have that large skull cast that we have in the back table. That's the guy on the left there. He's got reddish hair. This mysterious Paracas people show up in Paracas, Peru, on the west coast of Peru, out of nowhere. No one knows where they come from or why they just suddenly left. It's a mystery. They all have many of them have elongated skulls. Look at this guy, because we took hair from him. We took several hairs that fell out in the display case, and the curator of the museum, Senior Juan, allowed us to take care. Remember that. So we're down there, and we see this elongated skull. It's a mummy. It comes from a graveyard called the Chongos Necropolis, and it's of a baby, and it's elongated. So we got permission from the curator, Senior Juan Navarro, to unwrap it, which was unprecedented. So the next scene you'll see is Joe Taylor from the Mount Blanco Museum and Aaron Junkins, the archaeologist that we hired to go down with us, and they are now unwrapping the skull. Look at the colors and how vibrant they are. There are between 450 and 550 threads per square inch. European tapestries, 150 to 250. Where did they learn this? Oh, and by the way, it's reversible. Where did they learn this technique? Who taught it to them? As we began to unwrap the skull, we began to realize that something was very, very strange. And you'll notice the hair is strawberry blonde. The hair is strawberry blonde. That's not supposed to be there. This comes from an 1842 journal. This debate has been raging since then. So it's well over, getting close to 170 years, whatever. Oh, it's all cranial deformation. It's deliberate cradle headboarding. They took the infants, they wrapped some stuff around it, and as the child grew, they created a cone head. Okay, fine. Some of them are like that. We acknowledge that. But not all of them are. And some guys, why should we care about this, L.A.? I'll get there. You'll see how it's all connected. Listen to what this says. We ourselves have observed the same fact in many mummies of children of tender age who, although they had claws about them, were yet without any vestige or appearance of pressure of the cranium. More still, the same formation of the head presents itself in children yet unborn. And of this truth we had convincing proof in the sight of a fetus enclosed in the womb of a mummy of a pregnant woman, which we found in a cave of Huachai, 2 leagues from Tarma, in which it is this moment in our collection. Basically, this is what it looked like. Remember, in 1842, there's no photography, so they would hire someone that would come with them and sketch everything. This is a 7-month-old fetus found in the mummy of a pregnant woman. And the skull is elongated and it has teeth. That's not supposed to be there. This guy who wrote this in 1842 had no Nephilim dog in the hunt like I do. What did he care? He didn't even know about him, more than likely. And he's saying, wait a minute, guys. There's an outside agency, these are my words. There's an outside agency manipulating the genome. What is that outside agency? If you turn on the History Channel, it's the ancient aliens. It's the UFO guys. Right? Giorgio Tsoukalos, the guy with all the hair. But if we hold to a biblical paradigm like we all do in this room, it points back to the Genesis 6 incursion and also afterwards. And now we begin to realize that there is a cosmic chess match between the fallen angels and the women of earth, and that their seed and the seed of the woman are at enmity with one another. Now, scholars and the prevailing paradigm will tell us all these elongated skulls are the result of cradle headboarding. What if they're not? What if this is a remnant of a Nephilim tribe? One of the Nephilim tribes is called the long necks. In my opinion, the fallen one is messing with the genome, constantly trying to find the right recipe to create mankind in his own image. Why? Because we're told back in Genesis, your seed and his seed will be at enmity with one another. I'm not making this stuff up. This geneticist, he is now waiting for our samples. We've got about 15 of them down in Peru. And we're trying desperately to get them out. But here's the deal. He had a little bit of sample to go with. Listen to what it says, Paige. Whatever the sample labeled 3A has come from, it had mitochondrial DNA with mutations unknown in any human, primate, or animal known so far. The data is still very sketchy, though a lot of sequencing needs to be done to recover the complete mitochondrial DNA sequence. But a few fragments I was able to sequence from this sample indicate that if these mutations will hold, we are dealing with a new human-like creature, very distant from Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and Denisovans. I am not sure it will even fit into the known evolutionary tree. The question is, if they were so different they could not interbreed with humans, breeding within their small population, they may have degenerated due to inbreeding. That would explain buried children. They were either low or not viable. This guy's Russian, and this I'm giving you exactly the email that I received from him. I've talked to him many times on the phone. There's another sample which he has tested. I can tell you this, same thing. Mitochondrial DNA preliminary testing. Oh my gosh, there's nothing in our database. We have no idea what we're looking. Why am I so excited by this? Because for me, it points me back to the biblical narrative and proves, not conclusively, but we're getting there. It proves that something happened in the Levant, and it proves the biblical narrative. When we get the samples out, and I believe we will test them, we will hold a press conference in Dallas, and then we'll, of course, be torn apart by the media and the naysayers. Well, the samples were contaminated, L.A. Thank you very much. Okay. Sure they were. Well, get down and get your own samples.